As we interact with the world, it doesn't take long before we discover that reason and logic are relatively scarce resources. There seems to be an overabundance of absurdity and ignorance and ineptness, especially as we consume popular media. But it would be a mistake to think that people want to be irrational or naive. Most people are simply trying to do the best they can as they make their way through life. They deserve to be cut some slack, just like you do, because we frequently make decisions and say things that aren't exactly clear-headed and rational. But with a little training and lots of trial and error, we can become more thoughtful, coherent, and sensible. This will help us make more persuasive arguments and better decisions and commit fewer errors. Are you up to the challenge? If so, then join me as we learn more about the virtue of reason. The virtue of reason compels you to use logic and scientific analysis to form theories, conclusions, judgments, or inferences. It gives you the power to acquire knowledge either by direct understanding of first principles or by argument. You have the ability to objectively diagnose complex problems. So how do we get there? How do we develop this virtue of reason? First, aim for clarity. Whenever possible, we want to go right to the primary source for information rather than through the downstream secondary or tertiary sources, which tend to alter or contaminate the information. I'll give you a number of clarifying questions that will help you acquire more pure and unbiased information. Second, look for precision and accuracy. In language, precision means that we are using the correct words to convey the exact thoughts that we intend to communicate. Accuracy is the idea that what we are saying is, to the best of our knowledge, correct and true. We want both precision and accuracy to help us gather meaningful and truthful information. Third, focus on relevance. In our quest to uncover the truthfulness of something, our brain tends to tune out information that doesn't seem to be relevant. Therefore, we need to infuse our claim with meaning and importance. If we want to be seriously considered by our audience, it means we need to have personal relevance. We have to make it relevant to them. Fourth, analyze details. To be reasonable and logical, our focus should be on investigating and uncovering facts, not on judging or concluding. We have to determine the truthfulness of specifics and let the evidence speak for itself. Fifth, argue logically. Once we have eliminated all unclear and imprecise information and distinguished facts from opinions and eliminated biased information, we can finally sit down and determine whether something is true or mostly true, false or mostly false, or somewhere in between. That's where logic comes into play, and in this section, we will introduce some of the foundational principles of deductive and inductive logical arguments. Sixth, reject fallacies. A fallacy is an attempt to make something sound like a logical argument when, in fact, it is flawed or unsound or invalid. The problem could lie in one or more premises or in the conclusion. We'll review some common fallacies and learn how to recognize them. These 6 items are good starter steps to take you on the road of reason and rationality. People can spend their entire lives mastering this single virtue, but that is rarely required. You can become more proficient at it by applying the information in the reading and working on the simple assignments. If you do that and exercise conscious effort to be more reasonable, you can avoid some nasty missteps and wasted efforts. You'll also make your world a much more logical place to live.